Good morning, people. My name is Detroit Miracle, and I'm doing another celebrity edition film slash video. Oh, yeah. Now, this very video topic will be about the death of Michael Jackson, as well as the theories about his very death. Now, there are some people who believe that Michael Jackson was murdered because of his music catalog and his publishing rights that he owned involving the Beatles and other artists. Yeah, that has been widely made known that people do feel that way. And those same people think that his death was under mysterious circumstances where they made the doctor look like the actual murderer, but it was a part of some scheme concocted by the record industry in order to take what belonged to Michael Jackson. And there have even been statements made by his family members, such as his sisters, that said that they don't believe that Michael Jackson's death was just by accident, but they in fact feel that he was murdered. But I noticed that his sisters or other family members will never say who they believe the actual killer was because they in fact don't know. And with Michael Jackson, it has been made known that he had problems with substance abuse. He was taking a variety of prescription medicines, and he had a live-in doctor at the time of his death. Now, that is not uncommon for celebrities to have an addiction to prescription pain medication and otherwise. And there have been, in fact, a number of celebrities who have died from drug overdoses. And as we know, that has become a common fact in society. And because those such addictions can get the better of people, and as well as with celebrity famous people who are idolized and adored by many fans. Okay, with these Michael Jackson theories about the music industry or the executives over his company actually being the killers who placed a doctor under Michael Jackson's observatory in order to kill him or give him too much of a dose and make it look like some kind of accident being the case. Well, that doctor took the fall for that. He actually was punished for being incompetent involving Michael Jackson's death, and he was, because that such physician left the room and left Michael Jackson unattended. And when he gave Michael Jackson that anesthesia, he was supposed to sit there and monitor his situation, but that doctor left and made some kind of phone call and stayed on that call a long time. And then when he returned, Michael Jackson had expired and died. Now, getting back to Michael Jackson's family members who believed he was actually killed, I heard two of Michael Jackson's sisters say that, oh, Michael kept saying that they were going to kill me, they were going to get me, they were going to murder me. And Michael Jackson never clarified on who he referred to as being his actual killer, but people assumed that it was the record executive in which he spoke out against on camera and on film. Now with Michael Jackson saying that, oh, they were going to kill me, they were going to kill me, he had a legitimate reason to feel that way, But at the same time, he was taking a combination of strong pain medication and other prescription meds. So those combinations can make you a bit paranoid. Yes. Now, when you're taking different types of drugs that may have an hallucinogenic effect on you, which is of your mind, then they can alter your perception of things. They can even make any and everybody feel like a potential enemy and threat to you. Now, that wouldn't be out of the ordinary. Now that is the case with people who even smoke a lot of weed. They tend to become paranoid at times and see things and people as potential dangers to them. So if you're taking incredibly strong prescription medication prescribed by doctors in which should not have given you those drugs, then they will most certainly have a effect on the mind which could gravitate to a distorted reality and perception. So we know that when Michael Jackson died, it was revealed that, we know he had problems with substance abuse, and those close to him was even trying to intervene to prevent those drug use and to prevent him from abusing those substances. But Michael Jackson surrounded himself with yes men and yes women that went along with everything he said and did, because he was, in fact, and still is, the king of popular music and one of the greatest entertainers of all time and in every era that there was entertainment. Yes, Michael Jackson's fame and popularity even transcends time into the past as well as the present, and probably will into the future. But that is another story. But I was trying to overly clarify the fact that his popularity is immense. So people would point to that fact as being a reason why the record companies would want to silence him in order to take his vast catalog and publishing rights, and then they would re-release all of his previous albums and make even more money off of him as a slain great artist. But if you look at Michael Jackson's will, it stated that he left all of his money and fortune to his mother, his children, and children charities. So they benefited most from his death and not the record companies. I know some would say, yes, that's true, but Detroit Miracle, I believe his mother sold the publishing rights back to the company. So the company would have benefited greatly from Michael Jackson's demise. That may or may not be true, and to some extent it is true, but that still doesn't make that record company or those record executives directly responsible for the death of Michael Jackson. And people, and for those of you who have those theories about record companies bumping off artists because they are more popular as artists when they are dead, and those such companies can make a lot more money off of deceased artists than they can when the artists are alive, then look at the album sales of artists who were alive and kicking. There are artists that have generated tens of millions of dollars in record sales while they were still alive and breathing. So that will pretty much dispel and contradict that belief that the record companies only feel like they can make the most amount of money from an artist once they've died. And yeah, there is truth to that being the case, but if the artist is dead, then that artist will no longer make any more music or songs. So eventually they would run out of the material left behind by the artist. And we know artists such as Tupac Shakur had dozens of songs recorded after he died. And it is believed that Prince had a huge catalog of songs that he left behind after he passed along. Now, people like Prince, Tupac, and Michael Jackson are rare. They are such great popular musicians and geniuses at their craft that, yeah, they would create a lot of songs that they would leave off of albums, and then many of those songs would probably be good. But if an artist is no longer around, then he or she will take all of their creativity with them. So if I was a record executive, I wouldn't be thinking that, wait, if I kill these artists off, I can make a lot more money off of them than if they are in fact alive. And another key factor to contradict that belief and theory that record executives want to kill off their artists is, and this is what will be a clear fact, that no record executive has ever been charged for the murder of an artist that have died while being signed to the record executive's label. I say record executive or record chief, record owner, whatever they are. No, there's been no music producers, no record label owners, no high up authorities in the music industry that have ever been tried, charged, and convicted for the murder of any artist that died under mysterious circumstances. And that is in the case with Michael Jackson. There was no Sony executive charged for the murder of Michael Jackson because Michael Jackson's untimely death was clearly the fault of a negligent doctor that temporarily took his eyes off of Michael Jackson, and he didn't monitor the dosage, and Michael Jackson fell into cardiac arrest. Yeah, and that is the case with any and every artist that died. We know that there have been a lot of musicians that have been dying from, like I said, drug overdoses. And I said celebrities in general, not just musicians, but then there have been recent celebrity deaths involving rappers being shot. We know that. So even if it was a shooting of a popular artist, still people tend to theorize that, oh, it was just a setup by their record label boss who wanted to kill them to steal all the rights to their music. And that only is the case if a popular, iconic, legendary type of famous person is killed, slain, or dies under mysterious circumstances. But it is not the theory and belief of anybody dying who is normal, or people do not think that normal people die under mysterious circumstances like a Joe Blow type of guy. Yeah. Hey, I'm not saying that people aren't entitled to their beliefs or theories, and I believe they are, but every time it happens with the case of a very immensely popular musician like Michael Jackson dying, and there is no one else on the level of Michael Jackson of popularity, not even Prince, not even Janet Jackson, not even Madonna. Michael Jackson is in a category of his own. So I can understand all of these strange theories floating around out there because Michael was a larger than life type of personality, and he was the most famous person above any other famous person which had celebrity status. Okay, folks, with that being the case, I'm going to conclude this lesson, message, video, and I'd appreciate if you would give me those likes, comments, and please subscribe to my channel, Detroit Miracle. Peace out.